decking. All right. Now, this and the handrail, though they deteriorate the quickest because they're the most exposed to the elements. Handrails, both of them are very important, but decking is easy to fix, easy to replace, and easy to see if it's deteriorated. But what I wanted to share with you is how some of these do-it-yourselfers do. Now, I'm not saying there's anything technically wrong with this other than this right here, these two 2x4s. I guess he just didn't quite grasp that they're not going to fit in here right, so that's why he had to notch this out. Hey, you got to admit, there's some great Yankee ingenuity. And when I do construction fails, I'm going to probably use this, stupid contractor awards, because this is funny stuff. But anyway, I hope this ain't your deck when you review this. And don't remember me, but so whoever out there probably will someday. But this is a problem here as far as aesthetics, but it's not a problem as far as structural integrity. This is a problem. You see, it's rotting away here, so that's an issue. Let's move on down here. Let's look at some more of these different decking issues. Now, right here are end grains. Always the end grains will seem to deteriorate more quickly than the top of it. And we've talked about that in other shows. And check us out, on our other podcasting. You'll see we talk about these things. So I won't just keep reiterating. But look here, I mean, that's so bad. I'm not like I say, I ain't Superman. So I can't got that one finger push. Or Bruce Lee, how he had that one finger punch. I don't have that. And I still was able to push that up there like that. Well, what do you think? You think that's pretty much gone? That's a good way. So go to the ends. Look at the ends. Check it out. See where you're at. Now, they've even sealed them the best they could, and they still are deteriorating. Oh, here you go. Look at this. Now, this is treated wood, and see how deteriorated and rotten it is. Now, you see my nails. We'll go start with these nails here. For one, these nails did not get, you can see over here, they rarely got countersunk or did not get countersunk at all. A lot of times we use screws. People say, well, we put screws in our deck. Beware, screws back out too for two reasons. Number one, our material, it literally will dry out. When it dries out, it shrinks. Number one. Number two, that what happens to that material is walking back and forth. And the shaking of the decks and the material will actually literally walk that screw and our nail right to the top. Now, screws are best. I'm not going to doubt, there is no doubt about that. But nails work too. So if you don't have, if you got to fix it real quick, you can always punch a nail into it. Just make sure you countersink it. Make sure that it's taken care of now. I also wanted to share with you here, with the spacing. So back in the old days, we used to space these and put a carpenter pencil in between each board. We didn't really think about that. Now, my old business partner, which I'm going to throw his name out here, a great guy, Jack Riley, taught me tons about construction. But he's the one that brought it first to me, is when we started working together, is that we did not put that carpenter pencil in between. We would butt our wood up tight. And so it cost us a few more dollars, but because we used a few more pieces of wood, but it made for a higher quality product. Why? Because when it did shrink, now, look at the spacing here. That's so wide that if a lady was to come out there and high heel shoes or anything like this, she's going to break her ankle, break a leg, trip and fall at best. Or that's so bad that little children could get their toes stubbed in there. I've seen them so wide like this one here. Little doggies can get their feet stuck in between them and break their little legs. And so these are all issues that you need to attend to. So that's that wide. That's another problem. But at least you know it, and at best, just tell people you can't come out on my deck with high heels or something, or just beware of it. And then when you do replace your decking boards, start buttoning them up tight, because yes, they will shrink, and they shrink if you make them tight. They shrink perfectly, and they just got just enough distance between them so the moisture will drip between them. The snow will leak between it, so you won't be having standing snow when it melts. So it definitely works, but that's a problem. And that's a safety concern. And when I get hired to do trip and fall inspections, because we do construction litigation, expert witnessing, and construction fails, then that's a problem, and you could be liable. I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to say you are, but I will say a sharp attorney is liable to get you on that one. So beware. All right, let's move on down here. Now this is the edge of my deck right here. See, and you can see the screw right here. He put a screw in here, and that's so rotted that it won't even hold the screw, that band board. And this is going down a set of steps. But you can see right there, look at that. Now you can see my deterioration. This is anything like that's telling you, you got some repair work to do. Your deck is moving into a level of being unsafe. And of course, the more you let that water and snow drip down in between that, the worse it gets. But look, I mean, that's a perfect example of where the screw did not hold. Now, see where they shot these nails? We're going back to the nails real quick. See how these nails are right here? These are countersunk, so they did not come back up. But you know, they still can sometime. So anytime when you're walking across the deck, do this at every spring. Walk across your deck, see, and make sure that every single nail is countersunk or screws are countersunk. Why? Because if they get up a little bit high, like this one right here, you get up a little bit high and you walk across this with your bare feet, it's going to rip your feet wide open, and that's gross. I mean, tetanus shots. I mean, we don't need that. So make sure them nails are all set. That's a wonderful safety tip. As a matter of fact, I need to put that on our blog. You need to check out our blogs. You can find our blogging on our webpage at Galloway Building Services.com, www.gallowaybuildingservices.com, and check our blog out and our newsletters and such. And actually, if you like that kind of stuff, hit like and subscribe. We don't really bug you too much, but we do send enough good information out there that could save you a ton of grief. All right, so let's move on down here. Now, I'm underneath my deck. And look here, I mean, all this looks really good. You know, I got my hangers look good. You got my bolts are looking good. You know, I'm getting a little bit of mold growing up on here. That's all fine. But, you know, you see right in here what I'm showing here. Now, the side of this is mold that you're seeing. But what I wanted to show you right here is what we call bark wood. And that's where the closest to the edge of the tree, and so it's not like the heart of the wood. It's not the highest quality. That's a sure place right there that you want to be looking for deterioration, because that's where it's going to deteriorate first. And so that's a great little leading indicator. Why wait until you have a problem? You know, because nobody wants to get hurt. Besides, heck, we want to spend our time, you know, entertaining, barbecuing, not working on this thing once, and then we're done. So look for that. Look for the bark wood. A lot of guys don't even know that. Actually, I wish you wouldn't even have put that down there. You should have just called that material, but, you know, it's not how it works in this real world anymore. We just throw whatever crap we can up and hope for the best.